Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, recovering fully encrypted network, no payment, no backups. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Recovering fully encrypted network, no payment, no backups. Warning, an equally long post as my previous one. A few years ago I worked for an MSSP. Our teams were in North America. We mostly ran MSSP, but we had a small forensics team. I was a member of the team on top of being a Tier 2 security analyst. I also got my nickname from this case. The nickname will stay private, but there's a hint of where it came from towards the end. I'm sitting at my desk when my manager walks in, looking slightly panicked. "Manager, how would you feel about taking a road trip?" Me, who, what, when, where, why, and how long? Manager, a client of a client, DFIR client. Our client was a cyber insurance company. CI client, got hit by ransomware. They're in the next city over. CI client wants boots on the ground to find out what happened and start recovery efforts. Their normal contractors are tied up, and we're capable of handling the load right now. You'd leave now and stay as long as necessary. Me, as long as there's an understanding with other clients that I won't be available for meetings, or I get dedicated time on site to have normal meetings, I'm fine with it. Manager, don't worry about other clients. Pack your forensics bags. We'll get you set up with a rental car and hotel. Expense everything you buy, keep receipts. If you're short on cash, let us know, we'll send some with you. Me, no need for cash. Who else is going? Managed services and some level of management? Manager, managed services is sending down SMEs with a small detachment of helpdesk staff, and Manager 2, helpdesk to bring accounts back into the mix, mass imaging machines, etc. SMEs to rebuild servers. Manager 2 to coordinate the chaos. Me, great. We get on site and start scoping out the damage, affected systems, etc. The prognosis was not good. All of the modern systems, 08 and newer, were completely encrypted. Anything equals 03 were completely bricked, they wouldn't even boot. Not ideal, obviously. I start tracking down my log sources that I'll require. Endpoint logs, DC logs, firewall traffic, etc. Somewhat surprisingly, they had an internal CM which was fully configured to import all of the critical logs, making my job infinitely easier. After rooting around in the logs, it was a pretty normal attack. Attackers sent a highly targeted email to a specific user, dropping emotet into the network. The user opened the document, enabled macros, and his endpoint got fully compromised. From there it was also pretty normal, internal port scans across the entire network, Kerberosting, brute forcing, AD enumeration, Metasploit, etc. Privilege escalation to domain admin, pop the domain controllers, and then PS exec to deploy the ransomware across the network. The one thing I didn't expect to see was the online brute forcing of accounts. Given that it locked out every account in the network, I'd wager it was an accident. I get to the initial source of the compromise and grab the emotet from the user's inbox. The dropper itself was pretty sophisticated. Multiple levels of obfuscation, C2 domains which were DGAs, domain generating algorithm, SSL encrypted traffic, etc., signed binaries. The SSL traffic was hiding Cobalt Strike. From there I start looking at the actual ransomware. The ransomware application was significantly less advanced, shockingly so. I figured there were actually 2 threat actors, which was later confirmed. The ransomware did a terrible job for QA. For example, it broke any server equals 03. I took the ransomware application apart to get some basic information, for example what compiled it, and what language. It was written in C#. Keeping that in mind, I pulled out DNSpy, an application capable of decompiling C# applications back into the original source code. Looking through the source code, I noticed a number of glaring amateur mistakes, like storing the decryption information in non-volatile storage. Whoops! I call over one of the senior managers from our team. $me, hey. I have an interesting turn of events. Turns out the attackers who dropped the ransomware are idiots. They're storing what amounts to decryption keys in non-volatile storage. In other words, I've recovered the information necessary to decrypt the files without the need for backups or payment. This client had backups, but they were also fully encrypted. No air gap. $Manager 2 dumbfounded. You're serious? Aren't you? Me, yes. Check this out. Here's a normal text file, encrypted of course. Paste the contents into CyberChef, give them the mode, for and key. Poof, plain text. $Manager 2. One moment. Hey $SME, come over here. $SME, what's going on? $Manager 2, show $SME what you found. $me, encrypted file, IVs, keys, mode. Plain text. $SME, okay, that's impressive. I think that's the first time I've ever seen someone be able to recover encrypted files without backups or paying. $me, we have to be careful, though I suspect we have two actors. The initial infection I found was extremely sophisticated. This ransomware is the exact opposite. $SME, can you automate the decryption? $me, of course. Give me an hour to build it out and test it on a small subset of files. $Manager 2, keep this quiet, just in case it doesn't pan out. If it works, what kind of recovery are we looking at? $me, a slow recovery. I can build something basic, but it's going to be pretty limited in performance. Single-threaded applications are slow, and I don't have experience writing multi-threaded applications. From a data perspective, likely anything on the 08 servers or newer will be recoverable. I wouldn't try this on 03 or older. $Manager 2, great. Get started. I get the decryptor built out and tested on a small subset of files I had copied over. I took a quick enough look at them to establish that they were decrypted and not corrupt from the process. I call manager and SME back over. $me, it's built and been tested on these files. They all check out normally now. We've got TBs of data to process though. This will take a while to do, especially with small files. $Manager 2, it's your discovery and show. Go tell the teams. $me, I'm just the technical resource. You're in charge of communication. $Manager 2, and right now I'm placing you in charge of communication. You found the weakness and developed suitable countermeasures. No one is more qualified to talk about it. Get up there and start talking to our team and the $DFIR client team. Walks up, very uncomfortably I might add. $me, may I get everyone's attention for a couple minutes please? $me, we've been keeping this very quiet until we could confirm that this will work. Our teams have discovered a weakness in the encryption used by the ransomware. I cannot guarantee complete decryption, but our preliminary indications is that it'll work. We've built and tested the decryptor on a very small subset of files with perfect results. $Client manager, you're saying we can get all our data back? $me, I'm saying we stand a chance of getting most of your data back without paying the ransom. Client, what's the risk with this? $me, the risk is making the already encrypted files unrecoverable even to the original ransomware authors, if they could decrypt it in the first place. We need to complete more tests before deploying it to every asset we care about. Client manager, how long will this take? $me, the testing? A couple more hours. A full decryption run? I have no idea. It could be a few hours, it could be a few days. There are TBs of data to process. Any performance problems will relate to how many small files there are to decrypt. I don't have the programming knowledge to write multi-threaded applications without causing problems. We'll reach out to other resources to see if they can provide assistance. Client Manager, what about the actual servers? $Me, once the data has been recovered, I still fully intend on ordering all assets wiped. They're all considered compromised at this point. There appear to be two groups that were attacking your network at the same time. One group was highly sophisticated and likely state-sponsored. The second group, the one who deployed the ransomware, were significantly more amateur. They've also been present in the network for nearly a month. There's no way we can trust these systems anymore. Client Manager, that's extremely good news on the data front. Unfortunate we still need to wipe though. Our executives will want a report of this. I will schedule a meeting with you and them. $Me, I'm probably not the re-dash. Manager 2, that'll be great. Client Manager. Please include myself and $SME into that meeting. Me will lead it from our side. After some other formalities, the impromptu meeting concludes. I direct my attention back to our manager. Me, I'm not comfortable talking to a bunch of executives. These guys at least mostly speak our technical language. Executives don't, they care about the bottom line. Time and money is what they care about. Manager, yes, that's probably all they care about. So talk about that, don't focus on what we can't do, talk about what we can do. Don't focus on the technical stuff. Instead of talking about single-threaded versus multi-threaded applications, tell them we're working to make the decryption process faster. I'm not comfortable with this. Manager, you did a great job managing the IT's expectations in a reasonably non-technical way. Executives think that the network is a write-off right now. Anything other than a complete write-off is music to their ears. Under-promise and over-deliver. I'll be in the meeting with you and SME just in case. The executive meeting ended up going extremely well. We ended up pulling in a couple programming resources to write me a multi-threaded application that could parse child directories, using my single-threaded application as a sort of basis. When I finally returned back to our office, I was pulled into my manager's office. My direct manager is not technical, he's more of an HR person with some technical knowledge. Manager, I don't know the full extent of what you did down there, the technical stuff is over my head. But I have emails from every level of management at our company, Ferklian's company, and insurance singing praises about you. Whatever happened, it has not gone unnoticed. The COO is in our boardroom. He'd like to talk with you. Me, the COO, is sitting in our boardroom waiting for me? Manager, yes. I think you'll like what he wants to talk about. I walk into the boardroom. COO, welcome back AV636. Me, thank you. Had I known you were waiting for me, I would have come to the office directly from the city instead of going home to drop off personal effects at home. COO, don't worry about it. I specifically didn't want you told. I hear you had a very productive time down there. Me, not as productive as I would have liked. They lost data still. COO, considering the initial thought was they weren't getting any of it back, anything you recovered was a miracle. With that note, I think it's time that we return the favor. There are a lot of reasons for this. But I have two things to give you. Before I give them to you, let me explain why they're being awarded. First, I have to acknowledge every manager that has reached out to me. Before any of this happened, I'd already had a number of managers at the company reach out to me and sing your high praises. You stepped up to a challenge, and the result was every level of management at $DFR client being extremely impressed. When I refer to their management team, I'm not referring to IT and/or executives only. I'm referring to every department you interacted with. All of them. Not only that, I have emails from their insurance company and our client. Specifically though, the email from Manager 2, indicating not the technical ability you demonstrated effortlessly, but also demonstrating your ability to communicate, recognize your weaknesses, and pull in the right resources to get the job done correctly and in a timely fashion. You may have been reluctant to communicate with their management teams, but you did a great job at it. In addition to this, every staff member at the company is entitled to sales commissions if you can make sales and the client shake hands. There is no obligation to be in sales or any technical department. You may not have started the conversation, but you hammered so many nails into the coffin that made them shake hands. So to start, you're being promoted. We still have some formalities to iron out, such as salary, vacation, benefits, etc. But effectively immediately you'll report as a senior analyst. You'll receive back pay for the last couple weeks at whatever your new rate/salary is. Take a week to think about what you want before coming back to me. The second thing is bonuses and commissions. We have two types of bonuses. We have our year-end bonus that departments almost always get. We also have performance bonuses. You're getting an on-the-spot performance bonus and sales commission of the contract they just signed. In total, between the commission and bonus, it was well into the 5-figure range. Me, very surprised. I really don't know what to say. It'll sink in a couple hours, I'm sure. Thank you. COO, you don't owe me a thank you. You just made us 2 lifelong clients. On a more light-hearted note, I heard something about a nickname? What was that about? Me, oh, just our team joking around. They were calling me nickname after I discovered the weaknesses and built out a crude solution to decrypt the files. Nickname references being a prodigy kid. Because I was a kid compared to my coworkers and managers on site. COO, wear that name as a badge of honor. It's well earned. I went back a week later and got most of what I asked for. I credit that manager on site for getting me where I am today. Without him forcing me to speak to executives, I wouldn't be where I am, bridging the gaps between executives, council members, and senior IT. I'm much more comfortable in the presence of executives, though never completely at ease. With more time, maybe.